to follow the algorithm or not to follow the algorithm? That's one of the questions that has roamed in my head for quite a while. Now, obviously, I still have not really figured it out. I haven't figured out what the hell is going on. Sometimes it happens, if certain games are being talked about, like when Titanfall was having its little resurgence with the servers and everything being fixed. I got a little bit of traction there, especially in the online community. People liked it. But then other times, well, most of the time, it just seems unattainable. Or at least not as easy, obviously, as you would think, especially when things are trending. Sometimes the algorithm just doesn't care. Sometimes it suggests you things that you don't really know why it's suggesting you, but then you watch. And one of the biggest questions I've had for this recent time of me trying to figure out what videos I want to make and just have fun making, especially listening to interviews from the likes of Markiplier, and there's a really, really good long form duo of interviews from Mr. Beast that I enjoyed listening to that talked about making valuable content. And I've heard other people like Asmongold talk about how content is king, obviously, and if you have a good video, obviously it'll get views, but that's not always the case. People can have amazing videos, especially production, or they're funny or whatever, but they just do not get shuffled through the noise to people. Or maybe it's late. Maybe something has some sort of, the views all of a sudden skyrocket and you're not sure why. I've had some videos where they're like that, where after a week of having like 5 to 10 views, all of a sudden it gets a few hundred, and then 1,000. And I'm sitting here like, why? Why did that happen? I have no clue. Now, my thoughts are maybe it's more the thumbnail, it could be the title. I think those are more the things that people gravitate towards. I know I do. I look at the images and sometimes the titles. But still, it's something that I haven't figured out yet. But even if I did figure it out, would I really want to take advantage of it as other people try to do with regards to farming clicks and farming eyeballs, whether it's in a very negative sense or just in a very kind of boring sense? And that's where this question lies, because if I ever figured it out and I focused on making content that was really heavily algorithm driven, would I be happy with that? Would you be happy being, as some would say, a slave to the algorithm, not necessarily making the things that you want? This is something I've heard with regards to YouTuber burnout, which is always interesting, or even streamer burnout, where you make content that is driven to get views. And whether those views drop off or not, you yourself sort of lose that drive and interest in making content. Now, obviously, there's those that basically create their own algorithmic content, because no matter what they do, they just have that personality and following to make whatever they want to get views. But I think the vast majority fall in line where, whether it's reaction content or whether you're trying to emulate something like Mr. Beast or some other YouTubers, is it worth it? Like, would I enjoy becoming a bigger YouTuber or streamer, or even mid-size, let's say mid-size, decent size, making stuff that I just am not happy with? I don't know. I mean, granted, I haven't answered the question of what I am necessarily happy with. I like talking and making these type of videos, but I also just like playing games. And then other times I just don't have the time or want to make anything. But if there was that drive, would you, or rather would I, be happy? Is following the algorithm really the point, or is it just making things you want? Is it just making content that you like, and then eventually people will follow? Especially if people enjoy your personality or your gameplay. If you just make the things you want to make, isn't that enough? Whether you're making money off of it or not, isn't it enough just to have fun? I'm leaning more on the having fun side, especially since I have other stuff going on. However, if there was ever a point where things did have a good amount of momentum to them. I do hope that I would be doing the things that I enjoy, rather than trying to chase something that always seems like it's just out of your reach with regards to how the search engine and everything plays out on all platforms. Food for thought. And if anybody has any thoughts to add in the comment section, like what you think, feel free to put it down below, because I will be looking. I'm curious. I am always extremely curious of what other people think, whether they are successful with YouTube or any streaming, whether they're growing or whether they're just a viewer. I am curious, curious. I want to see it. I want to see the comments. Please do that below.